The Teaching Artist is presented by Arts Motivation for Youth.
Having the gift of various forms of art and diverse culture experiences generally brings out the best in our humanity. I'm Jonathan Thompson. I'm a teaching artist. Teaching artists are professional practitioners who teach and integrate their art form, perspectives, and skills into a wide range of settings. We work with schools, after-school programs, community agencies, prisons, and social services agencies. This program will feature some of the work I do as a performance-based teaching artist, as well as other teaching artists, educators, civic leaders, and students, giving a young person the opportunity to lift their voice and showing them how to do that in a way that is palatable, resourceful, and respectful will teach them the importance of communication and its power to heal and understand beyond youthful immaturity. In our first segment at the Indiana State Museum's Legacy Theater, students share monologues about their own personal experiences, many of which their peers may go through on a daily basis.
Every day I am being asked to step up to the plate of life, to be more than what I am.
Pressure to be more and more mature, reaching towards goals seemingly beyond the reach of the sun. Pressure
to stand up and be counted for my generation.
Pressure
to grow as leaders of tomorrow, to bridge the gap of many distant cultures and aggregations.
Pressure
to love and support my family, stay out of trouble, and get good grades.
Pressure
to overcome my human feelings, needs, emotions, and aggressions.
Pressure
to achieve all of these many, some unrealistic expectations.
Pressure
If I can get just one to be patient and compassionate, I will show you when I click in my passion, focus, and direction, that I am capable of being a participating, productive citizen. Come on, world, give me a chance to earn my voice and proceed to a higher plane.
Sadly, I feel that students are having to grow up so fast that often they lose their imagination, and I think the arts is so important because you can do that until you die. I feel that it's a great outlet for people, students, all ages, to get away from maybe the problems that they have. Youth of today are faced with so many different things that they can get into trouble for, and to use this outlet is so important to them. We need to continue to give them this gift and this outlet.
Walking every day in a graveyard of fear, watching my friends and loved ones lose their lives so dear. This path of darkness I live every day, watching my back and trying to stay away. I want to be normal, oh yes indeed, but my homies won't let my spirit free. Let me put it like this. Yesterday, a classmate of mine died without a dime, killing my friend, taking him to his tragic, awful end. I wanted to get revenge against those who took my friend. I know it won't help. I have to do what I need to do to stay in good mental health. Focus on this lesson, because I know smart, making my grades without falling apart. Defy death, they call me still, because I fight for life and refuse to chill.
Mr. Nathan Trudell. He was my theater, drama instructor, and my music teacher. And Trudell tapped into me as an artist and as a poet, and he tapped into me as being a taller guy, and he allowed me to utilize my assets And I think for him, mostly, he taught me to be unafraid. He encouraged me to use my poetic inclinations for good, but he allowed me to use my love of words to use it for social justice. And I think even with his drama instruction, he encouraged me to use my body as an asset. He's always been a tall guy, self-conscious about it at one point because it came with a lot of clumsiness, right? But he encouraged me to use my body to be able to work a room, to create presence, and to really use my voice and work on inflection, being more deliberate when I spoke. He's a brilliant teacher.
We have youth that come in from the ages from 10 to 18 years old from a variety of crimes, different backgrounds. We have an education program in place. Just recently, in the past 5 years, we've started to place a real heavy emphasis on the arts. We found that it works really well with our youth.
Cool brothers, smooth they say I am, walking with a limp and a clothes fade trim. Oh, how the ladies love me so dear. Watch out with my bad self, full of love for all the ladies so dear. Cooler than cool, it even blows the wind away. If I say so myself, I'm just too much for the day. My uncle says, boy, slow your roll before your cool blows you down. Mr. Tauber says, cool, you're smooth. It's like butter burned in a pot full of mutter. Truth is, I'm a scared little boy inside, masking all my fears with all the acting outside, because I accepted myself for who God made me. Some still call me cool, others still call me more. But it didn't matter to me, no way, because I overcame my fear of being too cool in my own way.
The program that Jonathan brought into our center, I can specifically remember one student that we had that came in. And she was very down. She had a very rough home life. She'd been in our facility for a couple of days. And the whole time, we couldn't get anything. She wouldn't talk, she wouldn't speak. In the middle of the drama program, something just sparked in her. And where I, as a classroom teacher, had her for 4 or 5 days and barely heard her speak, he was there 1 hour and this girl was up, she was speaking lines. She had said, I'm in the drama program at school, my boyfriend wants to be an actor, and you know, that was what we needed. And she was with us for a couple months, and it was that one instance that just brought out her character. From that point on, she was a leader in our group. She got good time, she was out because of that. So I feel like that program really kind of sparked her to, you know, this is my character, this is who I am, and amongst, you know, everybody else.
Not knowing the history of our ancestors, their stories, wisdom, and knowledge they passed down will make future generations lost without purpose. I have used my theater and storytelling knowledge to bring history alive, using biographical figures like Paul Robeson, George Washington Williams, and Edward Bearcat Wright. Sam Jonas is a character I developed based on slave records I researched from various southern plantations. I use the character not only as a tool to teach American history, but also a tool to impart life lessons onto young people. Deep River Lord, I want to cross over into campground.
Every artist is a teacher, and I suppose what I do is called the artist in the classroom, taking over a group of 4th graders, which is when they teach state history. My portrayals are tailored to meet educational standards, and I can tell someone's story for an hour, build in question and answer session, and then afterwards I'll receive the validation from a teacher who said, Danny, thank you for coming in and portraying this person and running my class for an hour.
hope Mr. and Mrs. Kaufman are trustworthy people.
Sunday, my faith and my instincts tell me these are good people. I have heard that they have helped many on that Underground Railroad to freedom to Canada.
How do you know this? We don't know these people. We've never even met them before.
Sunday, I had never been across the big ocean, but I came across it against my will. I had never seen America before, or the South, or the horror of slavery if I had not seen it. You and I have traveled far these past 3 months with people we did not know who helped us to this point and this place. Sunday, I have never seen Canada, but I know it's there.
I do historical characters such as John Henry, the steel driving man, Moses Broyles, a former slave who bought his freedom and became a minister, and Major Martin Delaney, which you're familiar with, who was a black commander during the Civil War. And most recently, Prince Among Slaves, a West African prince who was captured, sold into slavery, and was 40 years before he was released.
Teach and show me, Sam.
Sunday, I can only show you what your heart and spirit already knows if you tap into it. Yes, you were born a slave, but you were not meant to become a slave. Slavery is just not chains on your wrists or your ankles or somebody imposing their will upon you, forcing you to work without wages. Slavery is a type of mentality that people shackles on themselves. Chains and clothing may label you as a slave by others, but it does not make you a slave. If anyone wields another to this horror, they themselves are slaves already. Sunday, if I impose my will upon you, I am a slave to my own insecurity. Slavery is not black, white, red, yellow, or brown. Slavery is a human flaw in all of us if we take part in it.
Yes, they see the visual. Someone is dressed up as a person from the past.
Right.
Who is he here? What's he here to tell us? And that's the validation, this laughter and applause, and the light bulb goes off, the recognition. Oh.
Who is it?
Martin Delaney. Levi and Catherine Coffin have asked me to come by and assist you on your way to Canada and to freedom. My people, step into the light. I'm Major Martin Delaney, 104th Colored Regiment, United States Army, commissioned by President Abraham Lincoln himself. Yes.
Teaching artists primarily when they go into institutions of learning are there to support the teachers, and they give the student other avenues to express themselves. So to speak, the student can step outside the box and find new strengths and new creative juices that they may not be aware of in a traditional classroom setting.
A motivated student is generally highly influenced by a positive mentor. Over the years, as a teaching artist, I have developed classroom strategies and techniques to engage students and encourage participation while having a good time. In this segment, we explore voice projection, diction, improvisation, and movement in the intro-level course to musical theater workshop. The goal of the workshop is to create an atmosphere of empowerment for students to speak and sing with confidence. You too are welcome to participate. So, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take you through some basics. And I'm going to teach you some things that I've learned that not only that you can use in music and theater, but maybe in life. This is stuff you might be able to use in an interview, when you're interviewing for a job. If some of you are just uncomfortable with talking to somebody, looking at somebody in their face, holding your head up and your back straight, some of the stuff you will learn today, whether you go on to be a musician, a singer, or actress, you'll be able to use anywhere, okay?
The best thing about Jonathan and having artists come in, and we've had a few, but never had an opportunity like this, is to get students to actually realize that there's something more in the outside world, and there's more to this than just plain old me, or just some others, you know, teacher or their parents. It was fantastic. I've never heard them be like that. And they were excited. I mean, the excitement in most of my kids was amazing. They were just, this is it, this is it.
That's beyond!
Yes, sir!
5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Come on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hit it.
Boom, shakalaka, boom, shakalaka, boom.
Come on.
Oh, walk it out.
I got to hit it.
Oh, walk it out.
Let me hear you.
Oh, walk it out.
A chicken.
Chicken noodle soup.
Oh.
Chicken noodle soup.
Oh.
Chicken noodle soup with a soda on the side.
Give yourselves a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. There you go.
Like, a lot of people don't want to start something because they don't think they'll be good at it, but you can get better at it in a long amount of time, but it seems like a short amount of time, so you can get better at it. So like if you want to start playing the piano, we could do that, and it shows that, because you don't have to have any background of doing it to get better.
The teaching artist comes in with a specific type of background or a specific something that they're going to give the kids, whether be me, a music teacher who just comes in and sits down and I play every instrument, I do everything. Do I do everything well? No, I do not. I have a specific thing that I've done in my life. You come in and you give them something that you have as a professional and transfer it to them, and then watch them grow right then and there with all the wonderful talent that you have, something they don't normally ever see. I mean, it's so important that they see the outside people, that they get to touch and feel people who work in the field, because that may mean that some of those kids might be able to work in the field also, because you've given them something that I can't give them.
I love it. Fa-sol-la-ti-do.
Fa-sol-la-ti-do.
Do. Do. Ray, 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 ray.
Ray, 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 ray.
Say me, 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 me.
Me, 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 me.
Say fa-sol-la-ti-do.
Fa-sol-la-ti-do.
The overcame, yes we did. Through the storm and the rain, we did live. I keep my head up, one and all, because we overcame in spite of it all. I think it's like a powerful message because, I mean, because you had a story behind it. And so like with the story, I thought it was like, because they overcame everything and they continued on and didn't let it stop them.
Teaching artists could engage them more than they do already. But the ways that usually they will impact families and parents is, first of all, when their child comes home from school. It's like, hey, we got to make paper today. And you know, this is how you make it. And so suddenly you're watching your child engaged and talking about a process that was exciting to them. What we've tried to do is help them understand the difference between a teacher and a teaching artist. The role of a teaching artist is to set up a situation for the child or the student where they are able to make their own creative choices as an artist in training.
Go ahead, Thompson. Keep going, make it up, brother, then.
Well, the last 12 years, I was an art teacher. And so, as you know, in the art room, it can get a little bit crazy.
Kids get excited. It's kind of one of the fun classes that kids come to. There's a little more freedom in the art room. So I realized I had to come up with some classroom management skills that were a little different from when I taught in the classroom. So one of the things that I used was a little apple bell that I'd been given, a little brass bell, and I let the kids get as loud as they wanted to be. But then when I was ready to give some more instructions, I would ring the bell and they would get quiet right away. So that helped me a lot with classroom management. I think after-school programs, summer camps, free concerts and programs are vital to our community. I always had after-school art programs when I taught. I always did a summer art camp. And especially for people who want to kind of pursue that avenue and say, well, do I have some talent in art? Let me try this summer camp and see. It was very beneficial to those students. Art enriches our lives.
Inspiring students to pick up instruments has been amazing to watch over the years. Teaching them to understand lyrics, melody, as well as why a composer pens a song is equally important as the beat or the style. In this segment, the Heritage Concert Series connects student listeners to musical urban cultures and the historical significance of songs. A lot of people don't know that when you study music historically, especially what we call Negro spirituals, they weren't just songs being sung of sorrows and woes. A lot of them had meanings, code songs for the slaves to get free. For example, if you heard a slave might say, "Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water, God's gonna trouble the water." Generally, that was a call out. Somebody who working on the Underground Railroad giving you the signal. So it would be a lot of times in the middle of the night, and you hear it, you grab your stuff, and you follow the sound. Lead you by a river. And the reason they would lead you by a river, because when you got in the water, slave catcher dogs couldn't smell your scent. Nia Cantrell and Amoris Murray, students of the Thompson music program, perform at the Indianapolis Jazz Kitchen in front of a live audience for the first time.
Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down.
I thought it was really cool that the girl that came from Allisonville, because she's only been with you for like a few months, but she can just sing, and it's like, it was really like, I liked it, and yeah.
I've learned a lot about who I am, me personally. I've learned that I'm really interested in acting and singing and dancing in the performing arts, and Miss Hatfield has really helped me open up to that a lot, and she's gotten me involved in different stuff where I can show others like what I do. And it's important because I feel like everybody should be involved in some type of arts or something, even if it's like playing the piano for 10 minutes every day. It just helps people relieve stress and just gets them out there and meet new things and try new things that they don't normally do. Well, I liked how they had the student performers. I think that helped them out a lot, give them confidence to do more stuff like that, and it maybe helped other students realize that they could do something the same. And that, like how the guy who played the piano didn't know how to play, and then he learned how to play, and he really did really well. So that could give students confidence to be able to try new things like that.
What I did not realize is that music is so math-based, and as a math teacher, I was able to correlate the rhythm and the adding with his program and my program. It was like a dual combination that the scores for our math have increased by at least 50%.
The youth today needs our continual commitment of support. John Newton's most popular hymn, Amazing Grace, I was blind, but now I see, reveals to us the importance of changing what is wrong with our youth and being a part of their present and future.
Serving and teaching our youth has been an enriching experience that allows me to grow as a person and a teaching artist. I hold in high esteem all of my students, colleagues, and friends who have supported me along this journey.
Understanding is some of what we need. Learning our language and caring about our deeds. Encouragement goes a long way in helping us respond to life lessons along the way. I have what it takes to succeed, to build my life and find the strength to breathe, to find my voice in spite of all the ups and downs. I am God's child.
Grace is necessary to heal a whole new generation. When it gets challenging, proceed until love finds a way. The role of a teaching artist across the country is not only to teach what they love, but also to challenge students to discover what they love through the arts. It is these practitioners' perspectives that provide students rare opportunities to discover creative outlets beyond the classroom. We hope this program has informed you of just that, and perhaps even inspired you to utilize the teaching artist in your next lesson, after-school program, or event. Thanks for watching.
Always keep your dreams alive. Always go with your heart. And do the very best you can, no matter what.